Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Miss the Feral Cat and today we are going to talk about Boromir, an amazing, very versatile commander. He is one of the most free-to-play friendly commander you can find in the game. Why? Because he is a T1 commander, so an epic or a powerful commander, and to rise his respect up, you can just use those T1 gifts, those respect item. Specifically, it needs respect item called Lembas. Is very easy to find and very cheap to invest on. Once there is a little problem though. Because he is a T1 commander, it means that you can have his respect max at R4. Once you complete the R4, you need to ascend this commander. How do you do that? Well, you basically have to save up to 30 T1 respect item, regardless of if it's Lambas or the others, those pig piggy things. And you need 10 T2 or legendary level um, respect items, regardless of which one. Once you have ascended Boromir, his statistics will rise, will align to the average level of a T2 commander. This is very helpful thing for all the free-to-play and low-spenders players, mostly because you have the chance to have at least one now T2 commander, a legendary commander, up to respect level 10, which is gold for you because it's a very cheap way to get decent level and with a good amount of points you can spend on skill basically for free or with just a little tiny investment. Now, I said Boromir is a very versatile commander, but usually, how do we gear Boromir? You can play Boromir as a tank or as a booster. He can also be a support, but those mainly are the gears you are going to use on him, mostly because he only asks you for troop defense or mm, troop damage, troop attack, and of course, command statistic. So he doesn't care about focus. Those probably are the most common and the best gears you can find um, for a tank and for a booster. If you like to have a more support Boromir, you can absolutely mash up things. Maybe you want a little bit of troop defense plus troop damage. You can do though. You can do that. I mean, the most important thing is always command. So if you are looking for a support, try to mash up things so that you can at least max your the command statistic based on what you actually have as as your gears. Of course, if you don't have many of those, maybe you have more of those, of these, or those. Don't know. I don't care. English is not my language. Bye bye. Now, let's find out what are Boromir's skills. In this slide, you can see his skill set. I Warden is our top R0. Let's get a bit of confidence with the usual how players usually refers to the skill in the game. Those two skills are called R0. Why? Because R0 is the level of respect you need to unlock those. So this is usually called top R0, and this is usually called bot R0. This is the R2, and this is the R4. Now, let's mm, read together what those skills actually do. And here we are. To do. Always amazing. Now, uh, ignore this for now. No spoiler. Now, let's start with the top R0. The top R0 basically is a poke. It's an offensive skill. It deals 18 to 180 physical damage once to enemy formation and has a countdown of 1 round. What does it mean when it says round 1 of countdown? It means that it needs 1 round to charge this skill. It means that when battle begins, this skill will be activated not at round 1 but at round 2, because round 1 is charging. Now round 2 is activated, the skill is launched. Round 3 is in countdown. Round 4, it will be launched again. It's I know it's a little bit weird, but trust your feral cat. Now, once you have at least 5 points on this skill, you will have this new boost, damage stat plus 10%, which is very important skill if you are going to build a troop booster Boromir, because 10% of damage statistic is a huge deal. And then you have level 10 target attack less 10, just 10, for 1 round. Now, the bot R0. Bot R0 is the main skill if you are going to build a troop booster Boromir. What does that do? Horn of Gondor. Attack of 3 allied formations plus 1.8 to 18 for 1 round modified by common statistic. What does that mean? It means this: for every 100 command, additionally grants attack plus 0.3 at level 1 and 3 at level 10. This bonus is not just the command bonus you always will get. It is another bonus. It's another modifier. So you have this skill, then you have this modifier, then you have again command statistic modifier. Statistic command this modifier specifically. And I was saying at level 5 plus 5 attack and at level 10 affect 4 formation, because it was only 3 formations. There are 2, and friendly reminder, if someone will call this skill R3, it's because back in my days this skill was unlocked at R3. So forgive us for being old. Warden. 3 allied formation units gain a 4.5% up to 45% chance to evade damage taken from the first 4 hits. Evade means avoid attacks. Basically, you have a maximum the 45% of chance that this skill will be activated successfully. It's not the 45% of evasion. You have 45% of chance that Boromir will launch this skill and it works. If it's launched, it works. Unless the opponent has a skill, will launch a skill that possess Keen Eye. We'll talk about Keen Eye in probably with Gimli or Gilgad. No spoiler for now. At level 5, it affects instance of increase to 5, because this is not a skill that is based on time, on rounds, is a skill based on the number of hits. Exactly the same that will happen with Undyne illusion. Instead of other commanders like Gilgalad, again, that has evasion, avoidance, based on the first 2 or 3 rounds. At the moment, I don't remember correctly. At level 10, you have 10% HP for your troops, and the R4 that I don't know how to pronounce correctly, IR, HEIR, R4. Each round defense of the commander's formation plus 0.7 up to 7 modified by commander statistic again, but in a different way, up to 7 stacks. Level 5 up to 8 stats, and level 10 up to 10 stats. This skill, let's say, Warden and therefore are the main skill when you are building tank Boromir. This skill is usually unappreciated, but we will see that better later. Um, it's very nice because I know 7 doesn't look big at all, but remember, it stats. It means that at round 1 you will have 7 plus the modifier plus the modifier by commander. Then at round 2 you will have 14 modified by that and that. At level 3 I am not going to make the maths, probably 21, but I am not sure. Now that we just finish reading the skills, if you are interested, this is the passive skill, Power of Bloodline, which is a boost, a little boost to only men troops on attack and defense. Usually people don't even consider the passive. It's just something that stands there. Now, where are we? Doo-doo-doo. Oh no. Oh well. Now, this is the explanation of how basically works the R4. This is the explanation of the R4. Basically, my in this report, Boromir had 372 command, and with which is basically the command you will have with a Boromir which that is R10 and possess just purple gears, max refined, of course. So it's something that at some point everyone can have. Boromir in this case launched is yes. No, wait a second. I was saying shit. This is the explanation of Horn of Gondor. Horn of Gondor, as I said, because it has a countdown of 1 round, it is launched at round 2, not at round 1. What happened? Horn of Gondor boosted every um, every troops in the formation with 29.2 of attack. Mind that, as you can see, Boromir is lower because as yeah, because has less initiative than the other commander. So the skill was launched after those two commanders already attacked. So the boost in this round didn't affect them or their troops. So always remember mind, not just command and the statistic you need for building a specific kind of commander, but always give a look at the reports to understand what are you doing, and not don't forget initiative is very important. Initiative and the order for some commanders in which you assign skills. For commanders like Dine Ironfoot is extremely important to get the right order of skills, because if you select, if you give 1 point first to the R4 will be activated sooner than the others, earlier, sooner, whatever. Now, I was saying R is the is explained here. Now you see at round one, Boromir boosted his formation with plus 10.7. 10.7, remember, it was 7. Now plus the first bonus of command plus the command statistic. Let's say B and command statistic is a double modifier, modified 2 times. And what did happen in round 2? At round 2, it stacked. So 10.7, 21.4. And 25.4 is not bad at all. Also because at round 2, if you have a tank Boromir, his troops, trolls or swans, will still have the skill, the taunting skill activated. So it's very important that you can get as much defense boost as you can in the early stage of the battle. Now, how to build a Boromir if you are going to build him as a full tank. This is what I'm offering you. What does that mean? It means that you have to try to max out the R2. Why? Because so you can get the avoidance, which will help Boromir formation or N up to other 3 commanders to sustain, to survive in the early stage of the battle. Is just for the first 5 hits, so it's not super, and especially you only have 45% of chance that you get the avoidance, but it's still better than being killed, so why not? The other important thing, the other important skill, as I said, is the R4. You can try to max it out. It will help you sustaining his troops. I recommend you to put 1 point here, at least 1 point, mostly because you can get um, a a poke to 2 enemy formations, which will help you against commanders like Gandalf, which will launch White Council. It will help you against the Undying. It will help you. If you can, just try. It's just 1 point, it's not much. And because you will have some points to spare, I advise you to go for Horn of Gondor, the bot R4, which all you have left is not mandatory. Just you have to focus on this and this. 1 year, and all the rest here. Why? Because why not? And because it will help the other commanders in your formation. Especially, it's nice to have if you have some troop booster in your formation. Those are the gears I suggest you, and those are the usual known known troops for tank. So T3 trolls, swans, the TR4 from Gondor, and war beast, the rhinos from they are neutral. They are neutral. They live though in ruined and ashen. Now, Boromir troop booster build. As I said, this is Horn of Gondor. The bot R0 is the main skill you need. Max it out, please, and go for 5 point here to have a decent 10 damage boost percent maybe. And then things are two. You may want to go for the R4 if you have if you don't need the avoidance. So you can go for sustaining only Boromir, or you can think about sacrificing some sustain for Boromir and get the avoidance to still be able to help to assist the other commanders. Mind that Boromir will still support, help the other commanders with Horn of Gondor if they need it. Um, it's really up to the need of your formation, deciding if going for DR4 and sustain Boromir, or try to sustain also the other commander in your formation with the R2. But again, the main skills are those, both the R0. Those are the gears I suggest you, and those are the, in my opinion, the best troops for troop booster when in this case you are not bound to specific racial or troops needs. Those are the T4 from Isengard, they are the Snaga. Those are the T4 from Rune, the War Chariot, and those are my personal favorite. Those are the T3s. They are elf trolls. You can find them in Gondoland. Or you can ask your leader to unlock them in the recruiting hall. If your leader is like my leader, he will never unlock them and I will suffer inside. And why? And a friendly reminder, troop booster are usually quite expensive when you are going to recruit troops. So those this is one of the reason why usually krakens don't use troop booster. Now, Boromir support build. Boromir support build basically will focus on all the skills that will provide support and assistance to other commanders, meaning the R2 and the both R0. This skill is highly recommended if you have a main troop booster in your formation, and this skill is highly recommended if you don't have tank or a support that can launch an illusion skill. So if you don't have, or if your tank possess a skill that has illusion, but you want to focus, you want to build the tank without the illusion, with the assist of from Boromir, leaving the other commander, the tank, the chance maybe to focus on other skill that provide maybe a defensive boost. The other skill, once you have spare points, you can go for the R4 for keeping sustaining Boromir, or you can go for 1 point here and all the rest in the R4, or you can go for 5 point here and all the rest here, depending on what you need. If you want the 10% or you don't need the 10%. You can mesh up all those gears. It's basically the same. Try to max is common. And I am suggesting you to use T3 from Gondor. They are the cataphracts, and the T3 from Erebor. They are the Guardians. They are extremely cheap, extremely tough, amazing commanders for amazing troops for commanders that are requested to just support, because you don't need them to deal significant troop damage. You just want the commander to survive. Now, the last slide: synergies and tips for Boromir. Usually, Boromir, when you use him as a main tank, will need a decent support commander, because the chance that the illusion from Boromir will be activated is not super high, and the damage reduction, the defense boost that Boromir will provide is just for himself. So another support commander, a defensive booster, is highly recommended. Both best you can find probably, and if you also are looking for a cheap option, is Gandalf the Grey. And here you are, Gandalf the Grey. So we have already two. We have Boromir in a hypothetic formation. Boromir, Gandalf. Now, what do you want? You want a damager now to deal some actual damage. You can try Shadow. Because why Shadow? Because Shadow has possessed a significant amount of instances of damage, and if you have Boromir with at least 1 point in the top power 0, it means that it will deal every 1 round of countdown 2 instances of damage, plus the instance of damage from his basic attack, and plus the damage of his troops. You will also have Shadow with dual blow, so 2 instances of damage for each um, uh, normal instance of attack, plus another instance of damage from the both are 0, plus something else. So anyway, it's you will have a huge amount of instance of damage, and it will help you to crush an hypothetic Gandalf the White, or the Grey, to crush White Council. It will help you against um, undying avoidance. In alternative to Shadow, you can also try Eomer. Eomer is a underappreciated commander in my personal opinion, and he has some self-sustaining skills. So is very good when you have a more fragile commander, or simply um, low tire gears. So let's say we have Boromir Gandalf, we can try Shadow. Then what do we need? We can need a focus damager, or in this case, I prefer, because we are talking about Boromir and we maybe have some spare points in the boat R4, in the boat R0, we can try a true booster. So it can be Sauron with Naga, which is in the current meta. Or we can try Theoden or Azru. I personally used to like Azru very much. Is not very expensive as commander. The only issue is that Azru is bound to small units. So you have to mind the troops you are going to use. You can give him Snaga and he will perform very well. Same will happen with Sauron. And Theoden has the opposite issue. Theoden will need medium actually mounted, so horses, troops. So when we talk about troop booster, always remember to mind the troops you are going to use for most of the commanders. We are talking about Thorin prefers small troops, but Thorin can do whatever he wants. So let's say we want to try Azru. So I don't have to, to write SS. So this is an idea. Now, earlier I was checking the game and I noticed that some of my teammates were using um, Boromir. Let's see what they did. That's me, haha. Tatiana. Tatiana did a very interesting report against a solid opponent. This is a tank Boromir. Unfortunately, Tatiana didn't have a reckoning sword, so she decided to use the Lang, which is still a very solid, solid alternative for a tank because it's still 22 of troop defense and still 140 command statistic. It's amazing decision. She decided for a full tank Boromir, so she has the illusion, the evasions, she had the R4 activated, and she decided to go for Horn of Gondor to boost the other commanders. She doesn't have a poke, but that's not a big deal. She decided also to get a more sustainable damager. I suspect she decided for Eomer to ascend him because she liked Eomer very much, and we self-sustain and a decent amount of command, which is amazing for keeping your damager alive. Then she have a main support and a self-sustaining damager. Aragorn the second actually is more a support. In this case, he doesn't have the healing ability activated, but still it's a still solid setup, very balanced, very well. And another teammate, Antivirus. Antivirus is doing something very interesting. As I said, is using Boromir as a support, but without illusion. Why is not using illusion but focusing on the damage boost and self-sustain and on defense? I mean, defense, damage boost and poke is irrelevant. The damage actually and boost with a setup mostly hybrid, more focused on troop damage, most focused on troop damage and oh my god, it's ascended. If you like, this is the his relic, Boromir relic. You will unlock that at R10 once you have ascended. To ascend a command from T2 to T3, you will need 40 T3 respect item, which is a huge deal. But my friend likes to test things, and I really appreciate that because I don't have to do that. And from round 6 onward, damage dealt by man unit in the commander formation plus 6.6%. It's not huge, it's significant. I respect that. I will not do that. Well, anyway, I was saying he's not using the avoidance because he has another commander with that will provide avoidance to the troops. I don't see a main tank, but I guess he's doing something. And anyway, probably is doing that because to test the sustainability of the setup, because it's a very high defensive setup. Anyway, those are two options. We saw a tank Boromir, we saw a support Boromir, and I hope I'm not dead in the meantime. No? Let's go to die. Anyway, I will soon die, so I don't want you to see that, because I don't want to give you a bad example. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you the next time. Bye bye.